Adesso parliamo con il sindaco di Vaughan, Mayor Maurizio Bevilacqua is joining us. Hello there, sir.
Buongiorno a tutti.
Good morning. Thanks for coming on the program. It's been some time since you've had a chance to touch base and talk about what's happening within the City of Vaughan. The last time we did speak, though, Mayor, you might remember that you mentioned the term second wave, and that it was, something that we were to expect. Last week, the Prime Minister made that statement pretty clear that it wasn't just starting, it's already imminent. You have, within the City of Vaughan, within that capacity municipally, you've eased several restrictions, opened up several areas. Considering where we're at and where we might be going, what's on the table in terms of what, I guess, Vaughan residents can expect municipally?
Well, we've gone virtual on many things, like our recreation services, also with our libraries. Recently, we just reopened 3 of them, but prior to that, we had curbside. We're the first municipality actually have the curbside approach towards delivering services, meaning that if you ordered a book or whatever from the library, records, whatever you wanted, DVDs. What would happen is you place the order, you drop by and pick them up at the library. Of course, I've always advocated prior to that we keep everything shut down until January. I felt that that's still a valid option, and I'll tell you why. Because every statistics and every thing that I read about internationally and domestically, obviously now, states that, in fact, we're going to have this second wave. Now, having said that, I think we can ride it out. I think that if we're discipline focused, that if we take all the measures that we've been talking about for months seriously, that we can, in fact, reduce our numbers. Yesterday, our number was 14 COVID cases in the City of Vaughan. I don't have the number for today because they're published at 5 p.m. But I do think that we are doing well, and in large part because our citizens have been quite responsible. I've been impressed by the manner in which businesses here in the city have also handled this, because this has been a transformation of how to do business here in the City of Vaughan and throughout the country, and may I say worldwide. Citizens here have been quite responsible. I've been very impressed by the manner in which they've embraced the new rules and regulations. But I do also think that sometimes psychologically we are inherently we seek freedom. We seek freedom of movement. We want to kind of regain our sense of liberty. The reality is that today in Toronto you see a lot of people with masks. Right, a year ago you probably saw maybe 2 or 3. Right. The point I'm making is that we have to, as human beings, we have to adapt to present-day situations. And today we have COVID-19. It is spreading, obviously. It has taken human lives, and it's here for now until we find a vaccine. So the best way to deal with this particular challenge is we are now in the pre-vaccine era, and there will be a post-vaccine era, which will be dramatically different than now. Then we can start having a conversation about free movement, gathering in large numbers, and all those things that we're accustomed to. But any conversation prior to the vaccine is purely academic. I mean, it's just having a chat. The reality is, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we understand once the vaccine is here and it's administered and it works. Then we could have the conversations about everything else. So now we have to be focused.
Yeah. So, Mayor, one of the things you talked about, you used the word reboot. If you hear, and I'm sure you talk to obviously a lot of people within the community of Vaughan, people that I speak to, it's just interesting because you hear words like I was saying it this morning at the top of our show, the idea of bubbles, and how it's almost as though, do we understand what that bubble means? Are we forgetting what that bubble is supposed to represent? Are we forgetting to do some of the things that we do? And you talked about the word reboot as a way to kind of remind us, that kind of re-educate ourselves into what the protocols are. Can you speak to that?
So I will say something, that discipline is the shortest route to freedom. And for every disciplined effort, there are multiple rewards. So if we are disciplined, we will get to the finish line. If we are not disciplined, the finish line will never get here. simply because we are going to be using a counterweight to our ultimate goal. And so people need to, and I'm not here to preach, I'm not here to lecture, but I am here to tell you that everything we needed to know about COVID-19, we learned in kindergarten. You've got to be respectful. Yeah. You've got to make sure that you take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your, talking about kindergarten, obviously I'm talking about even our, the school year, right? Mm-hmm. People have to be very aware of COVID-19. Now, there's been an incredible education program about COVID-19. Every mayor, prime minister, organizations, premier organizations, media outlets like yours, we've been talking about some very basic things to do, like washing your hands and making sure you don't touch your eyes, use the elbow when you're saying hi to people, sneeze into your sleeve, all that. We know that, but it needs to be repeated, and I'll tell you why. Because we are creatures of habits, right? We have yet to move to a 100% COVID-19 attitude. So you will still see some people, not many, may I add, some people that are, not helping out as much as they could. But overall, Andrea, here in the city of Vaughan, I have to say that, and you're a citizen, and I want to thank you as well, and Zali and the entire family, you're adhering to the protocols. And that's what we need to do at this point in time. There's no shortcut. Like, we have to wait for the vaccine. Scientists and health experts have to come up with that vaccine that works, then it has to be administered. And so it's a long process. Remember the words early on in this thing, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Well, we're still in the middle of this marathon, and we have to be smart about the way we act. And I think that discipline and intelligence and common sense will be the best way forward.
So, and on that note, to mention that a lot of this information for all of you at home watching, if you do reside in the City of Vaughan and you want more details, you can definitely go online, and all of the, what's open, what's closed, and what municipally, the City of Vaughan does oversee will all be located on that site. Now, I want to change gears here and talk something other than COVID right now. And of course, that is the great news that on September the 18th, you had a virtual, celebratory event to talk about the hospital, the Cortellucci Vaughan Hospital. Let's talk about that and what's to come in 2021.
Well, the actual opening will occur in 2021, the early part of 2021. This has been a hospital in the making. I can tell you personally, it's been really a labor of love. I've been talking about this hospital for many, many years. Finally, it's here. The doors are open, substantial completion. We celebrated that. And the Cortellucci Hospital is going to be a first smart technology hospital in the entire country, and it happens right here in the City of Vaughan. But there again, what is the lesson here? What is the lesson that we should all learn from when it comes to the hospital? When people get together, they share into a common purpose. They focus their energies on a common goal, that great things can happen. And so this hospital is really a manifestation of the incredible spirit of generosity that exists within our city. But also patience. People have been very, very patient. But look what they got at the end, right? They got the first smart technology hospital in the entire country. And look at how well we are doing with our $250 million ultimate campaign. As you know, I chair this campaign, and I'm pleased to announce that out of $250 million, so far we've raised $178 million. And that is from the spirit of generosity of the people of the City of Vaughan. And I want to thank everybody, from the person that held a bike ride, to the person that gave 50 cents, and to the individual who gave $40 million. This hospital is yours. It doesn't really matter. It's an expression of what we as a community have done, and everybody's fingerprints is in this hospital. All 335,000 people who probably call the City of Vaughan their home. And there's going to be a lot of joyful events. I can't wait for the first child born in the City of Vaughan. In that hospital, and the Cortellucci Hospital will be a testament to our incredible capacity to build a great city.
Mayor, before we go, this was a substantial opening that we saw on the 18th. Can you just give us really quickly just what's left before the opening of 2021? What's happening procedurally behind closed doors?
Just final touch-ups on the hospital. Okay. We actually have the key now to the hospital, which is an incredible moment in the history of our city and of the hospital. And then it's just going to be, there's going to be an announcement, I think early in, I would guess early in 2021. So the hospital will probably be open in February or March.
Great.
Now it's a great incredible testament to our community, and I want to thank everybody that's been involved, all the believers. And as you know, hospitals, COVID-19 has reminded us of the importance of hospitals in our neighborhood and in our community.
Well, Mayor, I want to thank you for taking time today on a Sunday afternoon to join our program and not only speak to the residents of Vaughan, but of course, giving us details on what's happening across this country as well. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too.
Once again.